Do you remember in the top of 2023 when Beyonce was in Dubai and she was singing Drunk in Love, and she had this crazy ad lib, this riff, um, somewhere, I guess, in the chorus or whatever have you. And sonically, what she did at that moment was she opened something up. And I know it's gonna sound funny, but that is when I knew that she was a siren. Now, this video has nothing to do with her, but actually what she did. Because about 6 months later, I would go on to be invited to my first Orisha ceremony. And there I was introduced to the Orisha Olokun. Now, this is not for me to give you any information or attributes on Olokun, except that he is an Orisha, an angelic being, a ruler of the body of waters, and is sometimes considered to be dual gendered. I personally had an interaction with Olokun that led me to call him a he. And for some people, it's not that way. However, when I was at the ceremony, um, you know, someone that I had met there was getting the ceremony performed. And later, everyone took some of the Omiero, the birthing bath water of the Orisha, and I went home and put some on. 2 nights later, I fell asleep on the couch, and I was cold. Actually, the air and the fan was on. Anyway, I'm going to sleep, and all I know is I was waking up choking from drowning, and under the air and the fan, my neck was completely wet. Oh my gosh. I don't know much about outer body experiences like that, but that was an interesting introduction. But then when I recall what was happening, I met Olokun at the bottom of the ocean floor. And Olokun gave me a message, hence why I'm wearing blue. Olokun gave me a message that I was not to release last year, but I have permission to do so now. And how we were in communication was through uh, telepathic communication, because his mouth was sealed. And I think that might be because I had not received any Orisha, I wasn't initiated, so I could not communicate to understand that way, like verbal communication. But he was showing me a bunch of things at the bottom of the ocean floor, like so many things at the bottom of the ocean floor. And while we were talking and I was seeing it, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Me thinking it's a dream, maybe it was an outer body experience, I don't know. All I saw him do was this. And I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And his eyes went like that. And as soon as his eyes went like this, around this treasure was several bombs exploding. And I look over my shoulder and I saw a submarine. So, what is indicated to me that in the real life, real time, is that there's activity going on the ocean floor that is aggravating the ocean floor. And if you are paying attention now, you're going to see a lot more activity of sea creatures coming to the shore. I'm almost certain that we're going to probably see things we haven't seen in the next year, things that haven't really been studied before or couldn't be studied, because of the disturbance that is going on at the bottom of the ocean floor. Not only that, I do believe what I was looking at was a portal. I know I say that word too much, but just flow with me. That there was a suctioning happening that Olokun was guarding, and it seemed as if those that are doing studies on the ocean floor are trying to provoke a portal to open, that if you open it from the bottom, it'll take you to the top. If you open the ocean floor from the bottom, it's going to take you to the top of the universe. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't make sense to you. We, as the chosen ones, must protect all life forms. And I know it sounds a little delusional, And typically I wouldn't even share this type of information, but I really feel like I've been telling you, is that there's a thread that I'm trying to connect that spirit is showing me, and I feel like I have to put it out publicly. And this is important because after that, first of all, I asked my friend, I was like, what happened? Like, what is this? Am I crazy? Was it just a dream? And he said, no, you looked too closely at what was happening, and Olokun decided to engage you. And I was like, oh, okay. So I can't really share all of, but it was intense. And so it just so happened that a week later, I watched Avatar 2 for the first time, which is The Way of the Water. And it's all about warfare in the water, which translates, that movie is nothing but spiritual symbolism. So, in addition to, like I told you in one of the last videos, the Olympic video, I was telling you about the Last Supper, which is the Feast of Dionysus. There happened to be a blue figure on the table, which confirmed for me that I did have permission to speak on this message, but also that I also told you that be prepared for water to come back up. Now, I know there's a hurricane going around, Hurricane Debbie, right now, but I also feel as though there's going to be flooding at an unnatural time. I know we're still in hurricane season. There's going to be places that usually don't flood that are going to flood. Also, I want to say that there are going to be a lot more boil water advisories. And I don't want to say that our water system is going to be poisoned, but there may be some tampering or contamination with the water filtration system. And I know that in some places across the country, there has been some technical glitches or hijacking as it relates to their water system. So I want to just say, be cautious of what you drink, be careful of where you're going. And also, this serves as a precautionary to be mindful of your mental health, right? Cerebral fluid is a very important thing that spirit is bringing to me right now. Be mindful of your mental health, as there's going to be a corruption and a massive download from the spirit realm that is going to start to make you feel a little mentally unsafe if you have not had a spiritually active lifestyle. So the water is coming through very, very clear. And I had to tell you about Olokun because this is an Orisha that I have now become very, very attached to. Um, I, I'm in love with just the essence. And for me, when it comes to water and the wildlife under the sea, that is the heart space, I feel like, of God. And it is something that we have to very, very, very much be protective over fiercely. The water is the last thing we have as humans. The water is the last thing we have. And if we allow the powers that be, to contaminate it, I mean, it ruins everything. It ruins everything. As I told you in the Wheel of Fortune End of an Era video, activism is going to be at an all-time high in the last 6 months of the year. I told you that in June. We have to be environmentally sound. Like, our water and our air is all we have. We know that our air has been tampered with in the past 3 years. But water is sacred, y'all. It really is God. It is the identity of God. It is the spirit. And so I just felt the need to tell you to be mindful of your thoughts, to be really in tune with your spiritual practice, your breath work. Know why you are the essence of who you are. Today's Monday, August 5th, 2024. Here's the wrap up of what I'm saying. When Beyonce hit that note in 2023, she pierced the veil, almost like she broke a seal. That triggered something in the spirit realm to say, hey, there's warfare in the spirit realm and it's coming to manifest naturally. Everyone be on guard.